What is up, everyone? It's Molina Mike here on a very late edition of Doggin. I don't know what I'm doing up at midnight, but I'm glad to be here. I hope you guys are here. Hopefully, the 8 people that come in to watch here in a little bit can let me know how the audio and video is. We're doing World Pool Master stuff right now, and I'm excited. But you know what? I've been playing this intro video, and I've been real excited about it. I worked my ass off to finally get it, but a big part of that was that beginning, and that beginning included my partner in a kind of way. But let me bring my guy in. Finally, he's back. He
Hey,
made
hey,
it.
I'm
The one
back.
and only Joey Ryan himself, buddy. I missed you, man.
Oh man, it's been crazy around here, son. All kinds of stuff going on. I appreciate you covering for me. I know Pinoza was in there. You had all kinds of
Teamwork.
guests. You didn't skip a beat without me, man. I don't even know if I'm needed here.
No, listen, this show is nothing without you, buddy. We're a team here, and I realize how important your role is every time I have to steer the ship. So I missed you, man. We've been doing okay. We've been having some fun and getting some good people on, but we're team dogging it. Molina Mike, Joey Ryan. So I'm glad you're here always, man.
Look, John Francisco's like, it's late, boys.
Yeah.
That's funny. Guys,
Yeah.
welcome in. We appreciate you guys. Hopefully, we'll have some time. We'll get to some of your comments. Maybe let you guys have like a fan potpourri, a listener or viewer potpourri of like stuff you guys want to talk about. But I have a few ideas. And first, I want to talk about the World Pool Masters. You and I have argued about this event for a while. I've said, hey, this is a major event. You're like, no, it's an invitational. It's got a handful of players. They're all good players, but it's not like winning a 128 player event or anything like that or 256. But I'm telling you, man, weird stuff happens in this event. And we saw that already today. So, Mike, you want to tell me your thoughts on day one of the World Pool Masters?
Well, first of all, none of us are ballsy enough to say it in front of Matchroom like Panozo is, and Mike co-signed, that argument as far as it being a what is it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Invitational?
Invitational event versus a major. Um,
And what
I
they
would
say
say
to that?
it was a cringy kind of laugh. I'm not gonna lie. But it's this year more than ever. I feel like it's a lot more proper in the sense of how deep the field is, the
Yeah.
players that are there, their names, but they're names that have earned the right to be there. There was a little bit of argument this morning. We had Emily on, not argument, but more of just getting clarification as when it came to the David pick, and the logic behind it. We completely understood, or I completely understood, and more importantly, I respected it. Also the clarification when it came to getting a guy like Zing from China, getting into those markets, James from the Philippines. So a lot of things that were kind of made a little clearer. I'm excited. There's a lot of players going on, but today was day one, and it started off with really, hell, it's only been day one, but up until this point, it's the surprise of the tournament. The defending champion goes down in round number one, match number one. Josh Filler was up 5-1 on Niels, and then Niels just, played out of his mind, man.
Well, we've talked about Niels before. We actually talked about the player that we kind of look at. And I think we posed this question one day like, what player out there do you look at as maybe, kind of past their prime, but still has a chance to win a big event? And I think we both agreed that Niels, had some great events last year, was kind of knocking on the door in a few of
He
them and a
was.
roll or two away from snapping off a big event. And he comes out here today and beats Joshua Filler. Huge victory. He's going to have to pull off several more of them to win this event, but it's a great start. You know, I,
You can't
I
you
love
can
Niels.
ask.
What more can you say about Niels? Just a consummate professional. He trains hard, and he's not intimidated by Joshua Filler. So
No, from a momentum standpoint, this is something that's going to carry you through the entire event. Never mind the fact that that top half of the bracket was a little soft, and everyone thought it was Josh's for the picking. It was his to lose. Now that Niels got rid of Josh, you got to like him and his confidence going into that second round matchup with Max and whoever else he may go and face down the road. I know he's not going to be looking past Max because he respects the guy, but no, huge win for Niels. There was a comment from Laylee on one of my posts when I was kind of like just putting updates throughout the day, and one of them was, the guy's been working hard for the last 2 months, you know.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the consummate professional. Listen, Niels is a competitor, and he may be, on the older end compared to some of these young European players, but that gives him a chip on his shoulder, and I feel like it motivates him even more to come out and perform. And it's his performance, his merit. He's there based off of a number that he's been in that top 14, and he backed it up that he's not, that 25-1 underdog. And it was funny because my buddy, or our buddy George Teatea, had messaged me this morning when I was on the way to the gym, and he sends me this screenshot of their recent wins and losses, and every one of them was like within 1 or 2 games,
Hmm.
and the most recent ones were going towards Josh, but and these were races to like 9 and 7, things like that. So you got to figure, even if it's between 1 or 2 games, one of them gets the winner. That's just the guy winning, but like it shows that they're pretty close. Uh,
Yeah.
Neil's coming back from a 5-1 deficit and winning 8 in a row. Not an 8 pack, but winning 8 in a row against Josh. Massive, massive win for Niels. And it kind of showed Josh, having some holes in his game again. It
Well,
showed.
he's using the carbon again, right?
Well, I saw some people mention that. Franco saying that in the chat as well. I got a couple messages about it, bringing up the carbon fiber aspect again. Listen, that carbon fiber got him up, 5-1, and it got him to, I think, a third place finish in the World 10 Ball Championship. So I don't use that so much as an excuse as I
Melina,
it will.
Melina, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. You use a shaft that's carbon and wood, like wood wrapped around carbon. I've never
I
heard
do.
anything like it. It's the craziest thing in the world. But I'm telling you, I've made the switch twice now. I tried the switch once, took about 3 or 4 months, never really got to where I was playing with wood. And then I finally made the switch again.
You're making me real
I,
uncomfortable the way
I
you're the way
went
you're
back to
the way
the wood.
the way you're
I went
phrasing everything.
I went back to the wood, and then I made the switch again back to the carbon, and I stuck with it for a good year before I finally felt comfortable with it. I'm telling you, it's a big, big difference. Because look, we're just talking about, Tara from uh shoot, I forget her, Tara Danino, the mental coach,
Oh,
Insight.
Nick would know.
Yeah,
Nick
yeah,
would
yeah.
know.
Insight Performance.
Coaching, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
so tomorrow she's going to be talking to my son about the mental game of soccer, and I was explaining to him how, like, hey, like, she's really good talking to pool players, and it's very similar. Pool is very mental, right? And if you don't feel that comfort in your fingers on that shaft, if you're not feeling 100%
No,
confident and you're playing on that tight equipment that they have in this event, I'm telling you, bro, it's a big deal.
it was heat. Niels put heat on his ass. That's what it was. I don't think it was the carbon fiber effect. I think it was the Niels fine effect more than anything else. Listen, Neil started off, you know, after, I don't know if it was a dry break or whatever. Niels wins the first rack. Second rack, he goes for kind of a flyer combo, lets his cue ball loose. Unfortunate scratch in the side. Before he gets back to the table, it's 4-1. Then it's 5-1 before he even has a chance to get in motion. Then he comes up with one of the most ridiculous outs that you'll ever see on any arena, because balls were tied up. He got perfect position. He opened up balls. I mean, it was just a thing of beauty to go and watch. Niels worked his way into getting momentum. He was facing adversity early on. And I think once he was able to get that momentum in his game, that's what made Josh a little weak at the knees, because there was a chance. I want to say it was at 5-5, maybe 5-6 Niels, where Josh has a two ball that Neil sold out to him, a two ball that Josh should have put down, that Josh puts down 99 times out of 100. Well, guess what? It was a little Giants day today, because that 1 out of 100 came up where he dogged that shot and sold out. And Niels was just coming with it, man, over and over again. And I feel like it was that, guy who's used to being a front runner versus the guy who put heat on him, the savvy veteran. And then given how close their matches have been in the past, it was the Niels effect. I'm not gonna say it was the Revo effect.
Well,
I think
yeah,
I
I
think it's
mean,
I think it's low hanging fruit. I feel like.
well, yeah, I mean, definitely when a player's firing at you, when a player's playing back at you in a single elimination tournament where you could be one and done, like happened to him today, it definitely puts heat on you. So, by the way, good comment by Shorty Dancer. He said we need a Discord for our Patreon folks. So, Melina, Mike, get on that. Have you ever heard of Discord?
No, I don't. I think no, I take that back because I'm pretty sure Shorty told me about it in Vegas. Like
Yeah.
if somebody creates it and
Oh
adds me
god.
to it, I'll be glad to do it. So, uh, but no, listen, Neil showed what a champion he is.
Yeah.
You know,
There
and
was a
I
good comment from Aaron Lake earlier about the fact that people are talking about him being Moscone captain, and he might have a little chip on his shoulder about that. Like, hey, I want to play. I can still play. I can still do this thing.
and well, I remember whenever we reached out to a lot of players to get videos for Darren, and Mike reached out to Niels to get a video from Niels. And one of the things he said was, "Hey, man, you know, don't forget we're still here to compete for a Mosconi Cup spot. Us old guys, you know."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I remember that.
there is a chip on the shoulder. But and I would say this, a lot of pool players kind of live in la la land when it comes to their game because they're just not realistic to where their game lands in the totem pole, you know. And then there are guys that are just work their ass off to get back into place, you know, and that's where it seems like Niels is at. It's, I mean, the guy can he could easily win the event now, you know,
Yeah, he
because of
seems
a
sharp.
match like that. Yeah, I mean, we only saw 3 matches. Niels looked really sharp from like maybe rack from being down 5-1, maybe around 5-3, 5-3 and on. The guy was just a machine, man. I mean,
Yeah.
the Terminator, you know.
Like John
So
Francisco's comment, Niels won, Josh didn't lose, so
well, when Josh misses that 2 ball, I think that's whenever it was kind of like you just saw the writing on the wall. It was Neil's day, but I mean, he's right though. He earned it. I mean, he really did. He
yeah.
really did. So,
So let's talk about the second match of the day. Your favorite player ever, Max Lechner, pulls off the 9-4 victory over Muhammad Sufi. Uh, the talk of that match was obviously the golden breaks.
right.
So what was it, 3 or 4, Mike?
I want to say it was 4. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it
I
was
want to say it was
4.
4. Yeah,
Yeah, and a few of
at a
those,
minimum 3.
huh?
Yeah, at a minimum 3, but I want to say
Yeah,
4.
so I mean, we got to talk about this. It's I found it interesting. Matchroom posts like 4 golden breaks, in this match, and they show some videos of it, and then they just got killed underneath it in the comments where everybody's saying that's why 9 balls sucks. I can't believe it. The game should never be won on the break. What's your feeling about the golden break?
Oh, it's as exciting a shot as anything. If you're on the receiving end of it, obviously you're gonna feel a little sour about it. But and even whenever I talked to Max, he said, how many matches have you seen? 3 or 4 golden breaks. It's rare. So this was just an anomaly. This isn't consistent, right? The 9 ball is always going to be flirting with this break from inside the box because they're swinging that cue ball left to right, but you'll never see it go down this many times. It wasn't like it's the rack's problem where the ball is just tracking that direction if it's getting kicked in. So yeah, man, I feel like and even Max, basically said as much. He said, "Listen, if it was happening all the time like this, definitely something would have to change." He said, but there's never any matches where you have this many golden breaks. This was just kind of a once in a rare lifetime here.
Do you think
So
that was something that he was trying to do with the cue ball? Do you think he was trying to bring it back into the 9 or just trying to control the cue ball
well,
not to scratch in the sides?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway, and I'll just apologize later. But
Yes.
I asked Max this point blank, and he said the first time was luck, and then he said when I realized what happened, he said I might have been aiming, for a certain spot,
Really?
so and it got there, it got there. So and it's demoralizing if you're Sufi. Now, a credit to Muhammad because I saw they were showing him quite a bit as those 9 balls were going in, and to his credit, he held his composure really well. He wasn't giving you the Mika expressions where it's the and just
Why are you
pissing
always
and
picking
moaning the
on
whole
Mika?
time. It's
You're always messing with
that's
Mika.
low hanging fruit too. So Peter Nix actually has a good point for once in his life. He says, "Don't forget the roll Max had between 2 balls." Max did get the roll of the ball quite a bit. That one in particular where he comes off the ball and then ends up through the slightest of windows where the cue ball can just fit. And oh, by the way, then he's got a shot, which the shot was tough. He put it down, but to even have that opportunity was just complete luck. I don't think that I don't think Max looked all that sharp at certain points. I thought when he had an open table, he looked fluid, but when he had to work his way through, it wasn't the prettiest at times. I'll say that. And he's
Can we
but
hold
it's
on? What's today? May 10th. Melina Mike said something critical about Max Lechner. First time ever. I can't believe it.
now
In
Max is my
fact,
guy.
I was thinking of this idea. I always have these ideas, Melina, and we're like,
Right.
hey, maybe we should try this. I have this idea, right? Why don't you and I come up with our top 10 favorite players and we present that on a show one day? So, not necessarily the best players, but just our favorite
Our
players.
personal favorite
Yeah,
players.
and like 1 through 5 for you will be Max Lechner, but then 6 through 10 might be interesting. You know, we could have our favorite
Max is
10
my guy, man.
players. Yeah, let's do it, man. I think that'd be fun.
No, listen, he's Max has got to work through those issues if he's going to go and beat Niels. And that second round matchup is going to be pretty interesting. Like I said, he was able to get the ball down and balls down consistently, but you got to be able to finish out the rack. If he makes mistakes like he did against Mohammed, Neil showed that he's going to punish you, and he's shown how mentally tough he is. He's shown he can come back from a deficit. If I don't know what the odds are going to be like on paper, I'd imagine it'd be close to even money, maybe even having Niels a slight favorite. I would be shocked if Max went into that matchup like from the bookie standpoint of being favored against Niels.
Oh
So
yeah, especially after beating Phil. I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
But everybody wanted to see Sufi. Everybody wanted to see the kid play. They wanted to see the follow up from the World Championship. So the Max put him in a hole because of that break pretty early on. Sufi showed his greatness here or there, and then I think it was just when you thought he was going to make a comeback, he hung up a couple of balls. I don't know what it is. It's like
Oh, nice. That's my favorite commenter. He says 6 through 10 will be Mario He.
that's pretty
I love
funny. Yeah, that was pretty good.
it. Oh, that's
But
great.
it's weird, man. When Sufi rolls balls, they just a lot of times they hang up, man.
Yeah,
Like when he fires them in, like his style,
yeah.
center cut.
It's
You
kind
know,
of like that. It's kind of like that's what he has to do to be successful. He's a rhythm, he's a confidence player, and he's got to hit the balls, with some authority. If he tries to put them up there like I always do because I'm so scared I'm going to miss, I try to use pocket speed every single time.
yeah.
He's not going to be successful. But third match of the day, Copigny, Jason Shaw. Copigny cruises 9-1. That's pretty surprising result there. When you say, Mike?
No, without a doubt, man. Cole from the break it was close. And then even early on, I think the first three shots that Jason had were all jump shots. Cole was not so much playing conservatively, but just playing the right shot. What it laid and making Jason work for it. Finally, whenever Jason sold out, now they got into like a little bit of a moving battle because Cole didn't put him away. And then eventually, Jason just double kisses the ball and finally sells out. I think what ended up being the first rack, but it was surprising, without a doubt. But Jason basically just got put on ice by Cole. Once Cole got going, that was it. And then it wasn't until maybe like 7-1 where you saw the give up in Jason, like we've seen before. And I'm
Yeah.
not trying to knock Jason at all. When you're in a hole against a tough player and it's tough out and you're up, the odds at that point are very slim, and everything's got to go your way. And then when it doesn't, it's kind of easy to ship it a little bit. But this is the format. It's winter break, and you can get punished. Cole punished you. Cole looked good, man. Cole looked
Ko
really
was a
good.
world class. He's a world class player, and I think more than anyone, the Taiwanese, the Chinese players, the Asian players were affected by the pandemic probably more than anyone. And we saw when the world opened back up and events started happening, we weren't seeing the Ko brothers out as much. We weren't seeing Chang out as much. And so now that they've had a chance to kind of have a good year or so under their belt of getting out and playing again, watch out. This might be their year. Ko brothers might just dominate this year.
Well, yeah, I mean the guy's got momentum, right? He's in a tough spot when it comes to the bracket, so you can't overlook that. I was surprised to hear that a Taiwanese player has never won the World Pool Master, so this may be the inaugural one for that country. Certainly no better representative than Ko Pinyi. If he's playing like this, making the table look like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
the and
Taiwan
the
is Taiwan is famous for tight pockets, Mike. Sorry to cut you
I'm,
off.
I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to circle back to Niels real quick because these are the two guys that out of the three look the best, right? I mean, I know it's day one, but still, um, one thing about Niels, and that's not going to hold true as the tournament progresses, is that there was a few balls that hit into the rail that probably aren't going to go in, come day three. So that's something that he's got to button up a little bit. Where Cole was hitting them in. Cole was hitting them in fluidly, consistently. His confidence, his demeanor at the table, it was very like Sky like, where he's just kind of just stalking it, never got rattled by the moment. And I mean, to be fair, Jason never put any pressure on him either, you know. But Cole earned that comfortability. He's going to be a tough out for anybody. I mean, anyone, Francisco included.
Yeah, I don't know if the table's going to get enough play to really change that drastically once it gets deeper in this tournament. You know what I mean? It's a single elimination, not a big field, not super long races. There's not a ton of balls that are going to be hitting those rails that are really going to change the table that much by the time you get to the final. I don't think. I still think they're going to receive balls pretty well. Just my
Well,
opinion.
it wasn't like the cleanest of pocketing by Niels
I
at certain
understand.
spots, and I guess that's more of my point and how that'll affect them mentally. I mean, look, it didn't. They went in for him,
Poor
right? They went
this
in
guy
for him.
beats Josh Filler 9-5, and you're critiquing his pocketings.
No, but
They didn't
if you
slide in
saw,
as clean.
listen, no, there was a seven ball that hit about like a diamond and a half up that shouldn't have gone, and that happened maybe like three times, I believe. So it was like noticeable.
That's
Where
like a
other
diamond closer than I normally hit him.
well, that's true. Yeah, it's like three diamonds closer than I hit him
Yeah.
then.
Well, let's talk about. So the next round starts in a couple hours. It seems like some
Right.
ridiculous time. Is it 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. Central Time, Mike? Is that what time?
Yeah, I think it's 6 a.m. Central. I did reach out to Matt Lynch, who was on the show earlier today, and we're gonna work. I'm gonna try to get Niels on, and either I'm gonna try to get him on during the break because there's gonna be two sessions, a morning session with three matches followed by an afternoon session with two matches. So either excuse me, either I'm gonna try to get him during that break, or I'm gonna get up in about 5 hours and try to record an interview with Niels, and then I'll post it to Patreon. So we shall see. And Niels is a guy who I've never interviewed before, so I'm really looking forward to it. Um, the guy just does everything well, including his commentary. So I also
Yeah.
love hearing him just discuss things in general. So, but no, that's listen. You out of the three guys, and everyone knows, my adoration for Max. Out of the three guys, if I'm ranking them as far as how good they looked, you know, it's Cole, it's Niels, and then it's Max. And I'd love to see Max beat Niels, but it's gonna be tough. Niels is gonna be a tough out.
Yeah.
I'm
So the
sure.
6 a.m. Central, which would be 4 a.m. Central for me, I believe, which is ridiculous. We have FSR versus James Arness, and we have Victor versus Zhang, and Albin Ocean against Kachi. Now, if we took the three matches from today and I said, hey, give me the three winners, I don't think anybody would have had those three winners together. Do you? I mean, would they have had a three-person parlay with Niels, Max, and Co? I
Well,
can't
funny
see that.
enough, we had a contest on Windows Open where we were giving away some Titan tips from How and then some Town Chalk. And I said, just give me the first round and then some other things. So I can't remember. I said, give me your first round winners. And I didn't realize how many comments I was going to get, Joey. I literally got like within a few hours, there was over 300 comments. And I shut that MF down quick. You know, I said, hey, listen, I'm not going to go and fade looking through all these comments, but I'll say that out of the 300 ish comments, less than 20 hadn't had Niels beaten Josh. And then out of those 20, I want to say less than three had Max and Co winning. So that just shows the long odds on. And listen, a parlay is super tough to hit in general, right? But like out of three matches, you'd figure, there'd be a lot higher a shot. Everybody had Josh in that matchup. He was a massive favorite. Niels was 2-1 dog on the money just from the bookies. Yeah, it's we'll see. We'll see.
So you
You
got
know.
a chance tomorrow for your parlay.
Well,
Okay.
no. Now, to what we got to do? We got to recreate another thing because I want to give away some of this stuff. So
Oh my gosh.
everybody in the
It's a
pool
little
world dogged
late.
it.
It's like a
Everyone,
couple hours before.
maybe not right now, but we got to figure out something to give the
Final
stuff away.
8.
So
Final 8 would be good.
yeah, it might be easy. They only got to pick 4 matches. They only got to
Uh,
pick 4 matches. We'll
I don't
see.
know.
We'll see. We'll chew on
Yeah.
it.
But who you got in these 3 matches tomorrow? FSR and Aranas and Victor and Zhang and Albin and Kachi.
Okay, so
Break them down.
sports tell me that one out of those massive favorite matches, underdog is going to win, just from a logic standpoint and an odds standpoint. So, if I were to pick who I think could pull off the upset, my ass certainly ain't betting against Francisco. So I'm going to stick with Francisco there. But I might say Zhang because he's a big question mark. A lot of guys don't know him. A lot of guys,
Yeah.
including
What do you
Victor,
know
don't
about
know
the
him.
guy?
I know he's won in all Japan. I know that he's a monster in Asia. I know he's when he was playing, he was decorated, but he kind of just burst onto the scene. His Fargo just shot through the roof because of some really short term but uh, 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 great results. How that translate on a matchroom stage, I don't know. And anybody that says that there's no difference, go ask those champion ladies who got torched in the PLP. As far as how conditions make a big difference. Um, it's the unknown, man. But like, if you get and here's the deal: if Victor was playing on matchroom stages, as confidently as let's say Fran or some of these other top guys with a resume and history, it'd be different. But
Yeah.
we haven't seen that from Victor. We've seen him do a lot of great things in other events, Predator events. Coming off that Slovenia event that he just won, he's had a lot of great wins, right? But he hasn't had success on a matchroom stage, which is
Good
different.
point.
So that paired with the unknown of Zhang, if I were to pick one, I guess I would pick him for the upset, and then Kachi and Albin. I
I mean,
guess flip the coin.
is there even an upset there? I mean, it's
I
gonna
don't.
pick him.
I don't. I think it's close to a pick 'em. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah,
On
I
a,
mean, if it's 9 ball, you got to give Album the advantage. If it's 10 ball, you probably give Kachi the advantage. But I mean, it could go either way.
yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to bet against Alvin playing 9 ball. That's just the
Yeah,
bottom line. But
100%.
I'll say this though. Here's the deal: is that Kachi's game really impressed me during that World 10 ball run, and it wasn't just that he was breaking like Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah,
It was the other aspects of his game. It was a tactical battle. It was a safety battle. It was the 3 rail kicks. It was the jump. I mean, he was the total package. If he's got that same aggressive style, execution, and confidence, okay, Albin's gonna be in a little bit of a trouble here. But we've just seen so much from Albin on a matchroom stage playing 9 ball, with the exception of the World Pool Masters. So but like I said, it's who
yeah.
would you pick? Who would you pick out of the three?
I,
Straight
I'm s-
chalk.
I, okay. Yeah. Well, no, I'm gonna go with Zhang. I like that pick. He's at 823 Fargo, according to George Teashea. I mean, so he's probably the favorite if you think about it. If you're looking at stats against Victor, I don't know what Victor's Fargo is. Probably
No,
eight and
fucking
change.
no. There's no fucking no. The guy was 66 to 1 on. He was the last
Because
favorite on the
those
odds.
odds makers don't know anything. You're talking about on the odds, the betting odds?
Yeah,
Come on, man. What did I tell you about that? Right now is the time to make money on odds makers and pool because they don't know anything. They really don't. When did we see it? Was it the US Open last year when they came out with the odds?
you don't
It was,
think you don't.
there was some crazy numbers on that. Oh
Yeah, but
no,
some of
it was at Moscone Cup. It was
some
at
of them are really
Moscone,
are
and
really out of line. But you're telling me because the guy's got an 823 next to his name that he ought to be favored against Victor Zelensky? Is that what you're saying to me?
yeah, let's see what Victor is.
You couldn't pick the kid out of a lineup.
I don't care. I mean,
Joey's just Joe.
it's not like he's got 100 robustness or anything. Hold on.
What can we wager? What can we wager of significance
On
on this
this
matchup?
on this
Yeah.
matchup?
If you're saying it's like you're basically saying the kid is
Look, I
a
mean
favorite
Victor's
here.
an 815. It's not like he's a slouch. But I mean,
Let,
eight
let,
twenty
let,
three
me- let,
Fargo
let me just
playing in
send you to the.
Asia
I'm gonna bring George on the show since George is just full of stats here. I'm gonna bring George on,
right now.
and yeah, right now, right now, we're sending him the link. Uh, no,
Gosh,
but
this show's really going downhill.
I, I listen. I get it from if you're looking just based off Fargo. Maybe if you live in Florida or if you live in Arizona, I get how important that rating system is for you guys. I understand completely, but you've never seen the kid play. There's a big difference playing somewhere else versus playing on a matchroom stage. One table, one TV, the lights, the
You're
whole
just
nine yards.
buttering this up so that when he wins, you're like this. Oh, I made this awesome, you know, underdog pick. No, you didn't. You actually picked the favorite. Congratulations. You always do.
What by picking Zhang? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's not. Listen, I'm basing it more off of what I don't know what I'm gonna get from Victor, plus the fact that the kid is dangerous. Right? That's the combination.
I
That's the
just want to
logic
say
behind
that
it.
before I took these 2 weeks off, you used to call him Victor, and I used to call him Victor because it's pronounced Victor. And then I take 2 weeks off, and I come back and I start calling him Victor, and now you're calling him Victor. So
It's the
I'm on tilt already. I don't know
it's the
what's going on
yin.
here.
It's the yin and the yang, man. That's why we're a team here. Yeah, that's why we're a team here. No, I listen. I want to see that matchup. I think it's gonna be great. I'm hoping that it's not a letdown. I'm hoping it's competitive. Um, and I know from watching events, watching sports, especially watching pool events, that you're gonna have upsets like you did today. And I can't bet against Francisco playing nine ball. I thought one of these events is gonna come down to earth. Never happened in a year and a half.
Yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
get it. I don't
I
get it.
agree that Francisco and Albin are the favorites for sure. Even though Kachi's certainly capable, like I said, in nine ball, I think you got to look at Albin and think he's got the advantage there. That second matchup is going to be interesting. So I'm actually excited to watch that if I can get my butt up early enough. The other two matchups on the day. So we already talked about Max Lechner being your number first through fifth favorite player. Mario He, someone said, is your sixth through 10th favorite
That was
player.
actually that was actually that guy's wit deserves to be on the show just by itself. Jobo says Zhang is mentally strong. The only downside is this is his first travel outside of China.
Mm,
So the unfamiliarity of the environment, excuse me, but he wins over the heavyweights in China. Listen, if you're sparring with the elite of the Chinese, you can play some pool.
yeah.
You can play some pool, but that first part of his sentence is absolutely right. 1,000,000%. And part of that is the conditions of there. Plus, just being outside your home, Joe. You know how it is when you're traveling for the first time and you're young, and you know what I mean. So, um,
Jobo knows.
when
Jobo.
when we brought on Matt Lynch, because I didn't know how they selected Zhang when he said that he was brought into this event from who the CBSA, the Chinese Billiard Association, recommended or said this is our representative. Then I said, oh shit, okay, they might know something. So
Yeah.
he's not just someone that they're picking up off the corner. The guy can play pool and he made some prize for people. So, and listen, we've seen Cinderella runs, we've seen Loho some before. We've seen that happen in sports. Neil's an underdog beating the heavyweight Josh, the defending champion, killer filler. It's gonna happen, and I think it could happen here.
All right.
So
So Mario He versus Alex Kazakis. Players won this event before. Who you like? Good friends.
I'm not gonna bet against Mario. I'm not. I wouldn't
Of
bet.
course
I'm
not.
not
He's
going
your
to. I'm
second
not.
favorite player.
Yeah, yeah. I can't help that I like guys who win. That's the problem. I like guys who go deep in events who are consistent. And Max and Mario are two of the most consistent players of
Okay.
nine ball.
I got Kazakis in that one. I think Kazakis is going to get there.
Well, poor Alex, you just jinxed him. Everybody knows how legendary your betting your betting picks are, Joe. They're like you're batting like
What
you're
can I
batting
say?
like 159. You know,
Uh,
you're
well, for
like not
sure.
even
If I
not even
watch this,
triple A.
hey, if I watch this SVB match, for sure he loses. It happens every time. I'll even turn on an SVB match. He'll be winning like 6-2, and then he'll lose like 11-6. It happens every single time. So I don't know. Maybe I won't watch that. But Shane Van Boning against David Alcady. Who you got?
Hmm. Uh,
I know you've given this some thought.
David. David.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
David.
Shane hasn't been playing much.
No, Shane's been playing.
Just came over from the Philippines.
Shane's been playing a lot. I'll give him that. David's break at the Moscone Cup was the real deal. David's break in that format at the Moscone Cup was tough. And if he can replicate that, and not to mention the fact that his sparring partner is Francisco, that's who he's playing pool with day in and day out. You know, so if you're playing with that dude, you're tough. You're ready. You can beat anyone. He's won the event multiple times, as has Shane. You know, and more importantly, I don't want to just go straight chalk. So um, yeah,
For once.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Mike,
no, it's not that.
when you had Matt on, did you talk about the visa issues? And, from
We did.
more of a broader kind of perspective, what can be done about that? Because it's a huge letdown when everybody gets excited to see a Fedor Gorst or, you know, uh, um, you know, any player really from around the world. They're going to be in an event, and all of a sudden they can't make it for visa issues. I mean, that's a real bummer. What did you guys talk about with that, and what do you think is the solution to that problem?
Well, we had Emily on this morning, and we asked her that point blank, and if guys are doing their due diligence, the formalities of life, there's only so much that can be done. you know so some of these guys already have the proper things in place and are already able to travel a little bit more free, but others, it does take time, and that's not something that can easily be faded. Like the Quack situation, it was just a complete misunderstanding. The guys at the airport ready to check in, you know thought everything was great, and they find out, hey, listen, this is not good for another 2 more weeks. you know how tough is that?
That's rough.
You talk about an oversight, son.
I would have to
So
think in other sports, though, Mike. There's people who can help with this. Is there not? I mean,
well, uh,
agents.
aside from that, is that, like, I'll use tennis as an example because tennis is very global and it's happening now. These guys are traveling all over the world. They're making a great living as they're doing it, right? Even no matter where they're at place wise. But you know what to expect on the calendar, meaning you can project a lot further out in tennis. You can have more of a proper schedule. Right now it's still in a bit of a transition where am I at on the rankings? How much time do I have between when the actual dates are announced for the event, right? Because how many times do we see at the beginning of the year when things were TBD? You
Yeah.
know, so I'm sure that's a part of it as well for some. um, it's unfortunate. It's tough, especially when it's like big names. Federer, we wanted to see him back. That one leaves a bitter taste in a lot of people's mouths. But listen,
Well,
the
and
kids,
from what I understand, it was a big delay. And we see it. So my kids' soccer team went over to Spain recently, and we had kids on that team who didn't have a passport. So they got expedited passport service, and some of them, right up to the last week, had to fly to Denver to get an appointment to get their passport to then fly to Spain because even though it was expedited and promised months ago, it never came in. And so, I think we're seeing that across the board. We're seeing it in other countries now. It seems to be a
well,
big
that's
issue.
why Federer was in Chicago, to
Yeah.
try to get that Spanish visa amongst other things. So he's making the effort ahead of time, right? It's not like he's waiting to the last minute. um, I'd imagine politics, to some extent, play a role. Whether it wants to be discussed or not. It's unfortunate. It's part of life right now, and we just gotta have to roll with it. In the meantime, you know, they want here's the deal: is that they have contingency plans in place, which is great. They're as prepared as they can be. They let people know as much ahead of time as they can. Then there's a saying in life, shit happens, and that's just part of it, man. So um what are you gonna do? you know
Yeah. Well,
so the show must go on, as they say, and who knows, if David goes on to win, will everyone say, well, that's a terrible pick? Well, no, the guy snaps it off. Or
yeah.
if
And
let's
he's
say, if
capable. Certainly capable.
he's got the pedigree, he's got the history of doing it, where, and in matches where he wasn't underdog, Maybe thought he shouldn't have been in that event.
Yeah.
So it's about making the most of your opportunity. And we saw in the Moscone Cup, listen, the guy can make the most of an opportunity. He came as tough as he looked in certain spots. He looked great in other spots in that event. We know what he can do just in playing 9-ball pool. So I don't think Shane, like, if I'm Shane, I'm thinking, man, I could have gotten some, you guys couldn't tee someone easier up for me, you know?
Who? Who in this tournament? There's nobody easy in this tournament.
Well, you don't think Shane would have rather played, let's say, like a Wojciech, who was number, I think, 15 on the list or 16 on the list?
Okay. The guy's a world champion too. I mean, what do you do? I mean, maybe not.
If you're going to tell me, listen, he goes from having to play Federer
Would he rather play a
to having to
Kazakis?
play.
Kazakis
oh,
shut him out
oh,
one time over there.
listen, you can sign Shane up for Alex Kazakis 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. All right, I can promise you that. I think he'd rather play Kazakis than go and play Kwok, who's had his number, or even David, who's won the event twice.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to dog on Alex here, but those guys are a little different animals. I mean, well, Kwok isn't. David is because he's won the event before, but Kwok is, has had Shane's number.
I think you're
And,
dogging on Alex.
if you don't think that plays a role, look at Cole beating Shaw earlier. Your record against someone means something, whether you want to admit it or not. So,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, should be a great event. I'm really excited for it. I'm excited to catch some of the matches tomorrow. I don't know if I'll get that early match. Really
Can we
early.
can we expect to see you on more this week?
Yes. But next Monday, I leave for Scotland with my beautiful wife. I'll be gone for a week. And maybe we'll have to
Is it
record some
is
stuff.
it gonna be like Where's Waldo with you out there?
I don't know. Maybe should I do some videos? So we're checking in. It's a corporate thing, where I earned it from my job for a sales contest. And so we're checking in to this hotel, and it says that check-in is in the billiard room. So I have no idea what that means in Scotland. Maybe Jason will tell us, or Del Sim or somebody. But we check in, we have to go to this desk that's in the billiard room. So I'm really curious to see. I wonder, what do you guys think? Is it going to be like, the 6 foot 8-ball tables? Is it going to be snooker? What do you guys think it'll be in there in Scotland? I don't know.
Well,
It's supposed to be a really nice resort, Glen Eagles Resort. So
go find some suckers, Joe. Go find some
yeah,
suckers while you're there.
stream a match.
Yeah. No,
In
I'm
front of
kidding.
all
No,
like the VPs at my company, I'll be sitting there gambling in the
yeah,
billiard room. That'll be
rob
great.
them all. Rob them all. That'll go real well. No, go enjoy time with the family. We love to have you back on, man. I love having you. I love when you're
Hey,
on
we're
the
not
show.
done here yet.
So,
Don't
oh,
try
we
to
not?
kick me
Oh,
out. No,
okay, all right.
you're trying to be done. I want to talk about something that I've been kind of checking out that's coming up in a couple weeks, and it's the Wisconsin Open U.S. Pro Billiard Series event. I know we were talking Matchroom, but switching gears a little bit, the thing that got me excited about this event is looking at the folks that are already signed up. There's some good players in this event. Mike, have you seen the player list?
I mean, there's like a handful of good players. I feel like. Yeah.
You just killed my role. Like, if
Yeah.
you feel that way, just like find a different way to tell me.
I'm saying it. I mean, listen. I think they got. I looked earlier today, I believe, and I'm pretty sure. And I don't mean disrespectfully to anyone I don't mention, but I'm pretty sure it was like Federer, Filler, Kazakis, and then a lot of guys who
All right, I'm going to go through
are
the
not
list.
are not Federer, Filler, or Kazakis type level. Is all I'm
All right,
saying.
I'm going to read off the over 700 players that are in the
Okay.
list.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Badr from Kuwait.
Okay. Okay.
Tyrell Blowers from Wyoming, young player, 710 Fargo. Jovan Bustamante, 775 Fargo. Robbie Capito, 785 Fargo. Sullivan
Okay.
Clark from New Zealand, 734 Fargo. Let's see. Ernesto Dominguez, 734. Jesse Engel, 747. Jeremy Fedkenhauer from Wisconsin, 711.
Say that 3 times.
I don't know. I'm pretty proud of pronouncing that. Joshua Filler, 841. Man, his Fargo just keeps going up and up and up. It's crazy, right? Lucas Werner, 734 Fargo. Off of that
That
Big
kid may make
performance at the
a
Bob
good run.
Stocks.
Yeah.
Fetter Gorst, 834 Fargo. Let's see. Sam Henderson, the young guy out of Iowa, 704 Fargo. We have Landon Hollingsworth, another young gun out of South Carolina, 704 Fargo. Mika Emanen, 786 Fargo.
Mika's comfortable out there.
Alex Kazakis, 812. Let's see. Kang Lee, 732. Evan Lunda, 755. Gerson, 791. Come on, Mike. You just really disrespected a lot of people here.
No, I love Gerson. I love Gerson's 10-ball game. I do. Yeah.
Alex Montpellier, 742. John Morris, 792. Vitali, 771. Jeremy Seaman, 764. Jeremy Sasse, I know you love the way I say that, 756. Tyler Steyer, 767. Joey Tate, 710. Van Larup, 769.
Wake me up.
There's some big
Wake
hitters in
me.
here. Why are you not impressed by this field?
How? Okay, I'll put it this way: how many of Whirlpool Master players are going to be there?
Come on.
I'm
That's
saying.
not a fair. That's not fair. An invitational? Come on. It's not fair.
What's not fair? What do you want? A participation trophy here, son? What do you mean it's not fair?
I'm just saying it's a
And
good field, Mike.
the thing. Okay, yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad field. It's not world class field. Let's just be real. It's not. It's not.
Okay, I'll put it to you this way. Out of all of the U.S. Pro Billiard Series events that were outside of Las Vegas, this is one of the toughest fields I've seen.
No, hell no.
Yeah.
Last season, no. I will put last season's players up against that particular
From
event.
where? From what event?
Pick one. Puerto Rico,
Arizona.
Vegas.
Well, Puerto Rico. Okay, Vegas and Puerto Rico aside.
Bueller.
Vegas and Puerto Rico aside. Yo,
Okay,
you did not even do that right, Mike. It's Bueller.
Okay,
Bueller.
no. The event I was at last year,
Michigan.
Michigan, or Ohio. I don't remember one of those ones. I don't ever want to go back to. Yeah, that event. That event had like Chang. I mean, it was stacked.
Clay's saying it's the weakest Predator event that he's seen. Awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's a great event.
I'm gonna watch. I love the way they stream it. You know, I hope they get more players in. Who knows? Because it's always the player list is always going to be evolving. You know, it's good to see filler on that list. I'm not knocking it in any ways, but I mean, you can't say that it's like, you know, a major type field. It's not. You know, and part of that is I'm sure the location. You know,
Wait,
so
Baraboo? Is it Baraboo?
who knows, Joe? Who
Baraboo,
knows?
Wisconsin? Isn't that what it's called? Hold on. I can't find it right now. Anyway, I thought that's what it was.
They can't find it. Predator doesn't know where the event's at, Joe.
That's messed up.
All right, let's just be real about it. All right, they're still wondering where the hell it's at.
Hey, Rhonda wants to know if we're going to Buffalo's. Is that Memorial Weekend?
I don't know. It's coming up. It's coming up soon.
Marina.
It's coming in like
Way to
really
know
soon.
what's going on in the pool world.
It's coming up real soon.
If it's Memorial Weekend, I'm in California for a soccer tournament. So
I'm pretty sure going to Sacramento for the Chuck Markoulis event, which is a 9-ball ranking event. And then I might be going to a BEF event at the end of June. I don't know. We'll see.
BFF event? Is that Max Lechner's event?
No, the Billiard Education Foundation, the junior. It's the Junior Nationals. So
got it.
We shall see. But I've been wanting to go to Buffalo's. I'll be honest. Like, listen, to be fair, because I'm not just banging on their events. To be fair, that Buffalo's event is one of the weakest one pocket fields I've seen in the last 5 years, if not more.
Yeah, why do you think that is, Mike?
Well, I think they got another event going on at the same time. You know, I think the UK Open, I want to say, is around that same time frame, so that doesn't help matters any. And I don't know, but it's really odd because then I'm seeing like guys like Chip or Justin Hall, guys who are here in the States who are one pocket players, and they're not even attending. You know, so that leads me to believe that maybe it's the buy-in, although that's part of the allure of the event is the $2,000 buy-in,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of action and all this, you know. So um,
I was wondering
I don't
how
know.
sustainable those really high dollar one pocket buy-in tournaments were. And I think we saw that with the Scotty Townsend, right? It was a very small field in that. I think it was $1,000 buy-in for that one, if I'm not mistaken. But how sustainable are those? Like, how many of those do you go to? And let's say you're a good player and you have a chance to win a few matches, but maybe not win that event. You're not Alex Pagulayan, you're not Tony Chohan. How long do you continue to go to those events and get in for $1,000, $2,000, and really not have a chance to win it?
Well, you got guys like Alex, Federer, and Tony who are probably going to be the three blind bids. But a guy like in years past when the field was super deep, I felt like, you know, guys like Chip or Justin Hall, in that range, maybe Calderon, their chances of cashing may not have been as high. I don't even think Scott Frost is playing the
But when
event
I was at
this.
Buffalo's last time, like Hunter White was in the field, decent player, but
Well, yeah, but my point is that now more than ever, you got a chance to get into that, cash like, money, So, um, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. It makes like when I see this player list this year, it makes me even more upset that I didn't go the last like 3 years. Because I love those players. The players that were in the event, and I've been wanting to go see it. To me, it's like the equivalent of a one pocket world championship, and everybody knows how much I love one pocket. So, I yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough, but if I can, I'll definitely swing it. Maybe take the family out there and then just stop on by for like a day or something. So,
yeah.
but it's just yeah, that week player field is a tough sell. So, Heather's actually she's asking about BF in Nebraska. No, I think if I understand that, I want to say it's in Quincy, Illinois. I got no idea where that's at, by the way. So,
The S is silent. Lena, Illinois. S
oh,
is silent.
well,
Doing
excuse
a
me,
geography
Mister
degree here.
Geography major. Yeah, I know. You're right.
Hey, before we go, I just want to tell people about our Patreon, dog or patreon.com/dogging it. Check it out.
Are
Melina,
you
since
are
I've
you
been
gonna be
gone,
uploading some content on there?
yes,
That's what I need to
since
know.
I was just going to tell people, since I've been gone, had some stuff going on, and last couple of weeks have been crazy. But during that time, Melina's actually been taking some of our folks on Patreon and doing our question of the day with them in my absence. And but the problem is Melina's like such a donkey. He had no idea how to download the video and upload it into
Zero
the
idea.
thing. So I'm going to
No
do
idea.
that tonight. I'm going to get at least one of them up. Schedule another one for tomorrow. But it's cool. We try to involve our Patreon supporters, so go check it out for us. It helps us with the show, helps us with equipment, getting to events, things like that. And we'd really appreciate it. And you might even get to come on and do a question of the day with us, 15 or 20 minutes talking about a topic. Um, so it's a
Yeah.
lot of
By the
fun.
way, if any of the people who tuned in this evening would like to do a question of the day, you're more than welcome. Shoot me a PM, and we can schedule it. My only requirements are a couple of things. You got to have internet, computer ish, maybe a phone. More importantly, you got to provide the question because I'm not good at providing the question. Joey knows that.
And it's
So
got to be controversial. That's the other thing. It's
no,
a
that's not
limited,
true. That's not true.
well,
That's
but
not
it's a
true.
limited group. So we can be a little more controversial than we are here, right? We don't have to
Oh,
worry
for
about pissing
sure.
people off.
For sure. I try to be a little bit more diplomatic out here, but behind the wall, the gloves come off. We don't, we're airing everybody out. So it's a lot of fun.
Hey, Melina, um, real quick, do you want to? Why don't you take a minute and thank the logos on the outside here, the folks that sponsor us? Let people know about them.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, One PKT, a company that I'm a part of, and James Hanshu as well. Both guys who I work with. Jameson Daniels is one of our Patreon supporters. We can't thank Jameson enough. He's helped out even before Patreon or any of that. He's helped me out in other trips and real solid guy.
Bought us a
Kind of like
nice
top.
dinner. Where was that, Mike, in Texas?
Yeah,
Yeah,
in Austin, yeah. Hard times out of Sacramento with Oscar and everything that they do for us. So, and that's like I said, if I go to the Chuck Markulis, which is looking like I will, that'll be where I'll be at, covering that event, which I'd be super pumped up about. It's there's going to be top American players there, hopefully some European players there as well. And it's just like, I love going over there. The environment, the people, the food. Oh God, the food's amazing. Yeah, it's a great room. Town, I mean, I had them up to sponsor the page. They were so generous to hop on board with us, provide us with some product, and all this stuff helps us, on the road. I know I'm not traveling as much this like first 6 months because of other stuff I had going on, and it just didn't make sense for me. But all this stuff goes a long way for us. Poolbeards.co, they're actually a great training program. We have not announced, but we've had their logo up for about a month now. So we need to actually do that. We got a promo, and we can really deliver some content onto our platform and get some people excited and about playing pool, which is what we're here for. And then last but not least is Moonlight and Billiards. Sandra and Jim have, I think they were probably the first sponsor who got on board with us. So
Yeah,
um,
and I think we kind of connected them with Lil Chris, and he's done some videos on his YouTube, so you should check it out
yeah,
with their product. And it's kind of cool watching those videos. I was checking it out, and that's not
oh,
last.
Salato,
Yes, Salato.
Salato.
His
How
name's
can I forget?
Salato.
Colby and Reed, I got some stuff recorded in there in our cloud of some stuff I need to post probably the next couple of days. So they got a lot of great stuff going on, including a monthly giveaway. Plus, they got a $4,000 added tournament that they're doing for the guys who play the mob hit list by Salato. That I think it ends at the end of the month, and then the tournament will be announced in the next couple of months. So I'm gonna post all those clips and videos that I got saved and already cropped and ready to go in the next few days. We can't do it without them. We can't do it without you guys who tune in and watch and who help share and like the video and all that fun stuff. Of course, we come up here, hopefully at more proper times, not so obscure, but we just enjoy talking pool, and
I
we got a
just
lot of
needed to get
passion.
back in the action, so that's
When,
why we did it so late tonight.
when
But Mike,
Joey said I'm in restream, I didn't even say anything. I said I'm in. Count me in, buddy. So
yeah. Hey, by the way, let's send them off with our new outro video with music.
yeah, Joey, I'm glad you're back, buddy.
It's good to be back.
My right hand man. We'll
See
see
you
you
guys.
guys soon, and yeah, later, y'all.